Well, greetings, my little whipper-mathers. Welcome to our third technical week of school. This week in math, we're going to be talking about estimation and rounding. These skills are so important, but nobody ever taught me to estimate when I was in math class. So whenever I got an answer that was totally random and crazy, I never even knew it. Because I never estimated. It makes your life so much easier. And really, estimation is what we use in real life math a lot. If I'm at the store and I'm kind of trying to figure out how much I'm going to spend or how much money I'm going to get back, I don't take out a legal pad and start doing math or even crunch the numbers on my phone. I just use estimation to make that mental math a lot easier. And I'm going to really encourage you guys to do that as well. So, we are going to be talking about both of those skills, estimation and rounding. Again, estimation is just making the numbers easier to crunch in your own head so that you can do mental math if you're not in a place where you can do the math the old-fashioned way or you don't want to take that much time. And it's also a great thing to do before you do any work to see if your answer matches or is reasonable. That's supposed to be a picture of a brain. You're going to figure out that I am not the best artiste. Okay, but I try. Now, rounding is the skill that we're really going to practice together because rounding is a lot more specific. And because it's so specific, it can just be a little bit tricky. Sometimes kids will end up rounding to the wrong place, or maybe they just don't get what digit they're trying to round to. And so it's just kind of a nitpickier skill. It might even be considered a little less usable than straight up estimation, but we're going to practice both of those these weeks. So if you are in my year 1 group, we're going to do it with whole numbers, and my year 2 kiddos are going to do it with decimals, but it's basically the same concept. And it goes something like this. If I had the number 179 and I wanted to round it to the nearest 100, I can look on this number line to see it's going to fall somewhere between 100 and 200. Which one is it closer to? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the place that I'm rounding to, and I'm going to eyeball the number that's right next door. I sometimes call this the eyeball number, and sometimes I have kids even circle it so it helps them really take a look at that number. So as you can see, I am making a modified number line with my numbers that I wrote down, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that because it's kind of helpful for those of you that get stuck on rounding. So now I eyeball that number 7. 7 is going to make it where my number 179 is closer to 200. Because if that eyeball number is 5 or more, I'm going to round up. And if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm going to go back to where I came from, and that number would round to 100. I like to tell kids, think of it like you're a little person running on a number line. And you stop at 179. Is it closer to get to 200 or is it closer to go back to 100? And in this case, it's closer to go to 100. I'm going to show you one more example just so you can kind of let this simmer. What if I had 132,756 and this time I wanted to round it to the nearest 10,000? Now, I have to know my place values, so that skill we practiced last week is going to come in handy. I underline my 3, and I recognize that that 3 is either going to stay the same or it's going to go up 1. And my number line, you can see I've got 130,000 and 140,000. I'm trying to figure out which one is closer. So I can do my little modified number line system on my paper where I write down what would come before and what would come after. And now I'm going to look at that eyeball number. It's a 2. Remember, we talked about this. If it's 2 or less than 5, you are going to round down. And that is going to lead me to that 130,000 marker on my number line. It is kind of a picky skill for those of us like myself that have trouble organizing and lining up. So you might find yourself having a little bit of trouble with this skill, but you will get better at it. And I'm going to make you a tiny little cheat sheet to help you out with that as well. And then this little number line technique, a teacher taught me that a few years ago, and it really helped a lot of kids see what we are doing when we are rounding numbers. So give it a try, and we'll practice this week. And if you need any help, you know where to find me. You can also watch this video if you ever need help, or go to the tutorial section on our interactive image as well. Okay, bye.